Welcome to the Rolling Forward podcast,
a platform where we talk about all things logistics.
Leading this discussion, you've got Brett and Nathan.
And together, we share a passion for the logistics industry.
Okay, welcome to episode number 12 of the Rolling Forward podcast.
Very good. Good morning, Nate.
Good morning. And we're here with one of our employees, Matthew.
How are you?
We're good. And just to set the scene for this podcast, not all podcasts are rosy, and this one's going to be a bit more of a sensitive topic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really grateful to have Matt with us because the essence of this topic is we're actually exposing a major safety incident that happened inside our workplace, and Matt was involved. And we're very fortunate that he's here sitting with us because we did have a serious risk of fatality with what actually occurred. And credit to Matt who's joining us today in this discussion. And the whole point of this and our intention is to share our story, some of the errors, but really emphasize on the awareness side of things, and what learnings we've taken away that potentially other organizations and other individuals can also reflect on what they're doing in their day-to-day workplace to help them.
Yeah. It also highlights one an issue we took up previously, Nath, with complacency.
Yep.
In the workplace, and there's elements of that here as well.
Yep.
So, as you say, sometimes it's not so rosy. Yep. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yep. And by no means are we here to defame Matt. No, we're not here to defame our company in any way, shape, or form. It's more the case of, again, we need to learn from each other. And we're exceptionally grateful that you're in the health and the condition you're in today, Matt. But a couple of months ago, it might have been a different discussion.
Yeah.
So on that note, you want to talk through what actually occurred here in your incident. What happened?
Yeah, so, it's just another everyday occurrence.
Yep.
We were struggling with doing, our job at the time.
Yep.
With the tarps. Just happened to be that stack. And I got up on the container trying to make our job a little bit easier. And I pretty much just walked straight off the edge of the container.
Yep.
With the tarp being there, but didn't see the edge, which has allowed me to fall face onto the concrete, which has caused a fracture to the skull and the arm as well. So,
yep.
Broken the collarbone in about 6 pieces. So, pretty scary occasion, but
massively. And just for context, so Matt's one of our professional fumigators on site.
Trainee at the moment, yeah.
And we've got, as part of our log export packing operation, we're fumigating boxes daily under some new regulations between the Australian and China government in order to actually export to China. We've got a tarp containers.
Yep.
And so we're putting them in blocks of 6 or 7, mostly seven containers at a time.
Mostly 6, yeah.
Mostly 6, sorry. So 6 containers at a time. And then you've got a forklift, like a 3-ton forklift, either side of the container, so container door and rear of container. We're attaching the forklift's attached to a tarp on each end because these tarps are some 500 kilos.
Heavy tarps, yeah.
Each. And then fork tines are going up in the air. And then you guys are then reversing back and bringing that tarp over those containers.
But if I'm right, Matt, sometimes it fouls and you get up and...
Yeah, sometimes the tarp will catch on the corner. Say we put a sock to allow the tarp to come over freely, but sometimes it will fall off or things like that, and then the tarp will catch. And then occasionally wet weather will cause water to pull down, and then the tarp doesn't actually come out of in between because you can't have all the containers joined. There's occasionally a gap or two in there. So
Yep. And so on this occasion, the tarp's caught, and then you climbed up into the container, working with the team to obviously get it unstuck. And then if for those listening visualize, you've got the tarp elevated higher than the the containers itself.
Containers.
Because obviously you're trying to lift the tarp over.
Mm.
And I think in this position, the tarp was almost over all of the stack.
Yeah, so it was completely over. We were just finishing the last little bit, and before we get down and put the weights around the bottom of the container and stuff.
Yep.
Mm.
So you got the two forks in their position, on the door side and also on the rear of the container, elevated up. But that has given you a false sense of where the actual end of the container is, which is your footing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we know this because we got camera footage of, we got camera surveillance inside our yard, so we saw this incident take place.
Yeah.
So we didn't see it. We were able to double back.
Yeah, we could double back and see
and observe what went on. Yeah.
Yep. And so we literally saw the moment when you're walking, and then all of a sudden, you thought you're on solid
still on the
footing.
container, yeah. And then there's nothing.
And then there's fresh air.
Yeah. Just the tarp. So.
Yeah. And that's why we say serious risk of fatality, because if it isn't height plus your body height,
nearly
concrete and someone's head is not a great mixture at all.
And of course the containers have to be on concrete for that.
The regulation.
The regulations are it's on concrete, that's right.
Yep. And even if they weren't, they're on, dirt, for example.
Yeah.
Hair's
Still a hard surface.
And, hard surface that'd be horrendous. So needless to say, receiving that phone call was quite distressing to hear that someone's fallen from heights and land on their head.
In our workplace.
Yeah.
Let's talk through what that experience was like for you, Matt. And again, emphasising this to explain to those listening how frightening the situation is.
Yeah, so it was a very scary situation. Obviously, after the accident, there's not a lot I can remember of the actual accident. I remember walking off the edge and feeling the air, and I kind of shut down. My body, I reckon I was unconscious before I'd even hit the ground, which could have been a possibility of why, I fell the way I did and didn't try and stop myself, which could have been an even worse situation.
Yep.
But as a company standpoint, Logland, the extra Fumo boys, I feel like they did such a good, experience. No, that's not the word. Sorry. They did their job how it should be, and the ambulance was called, the higher ups was called, the safe procedures got put in really quickly, and I don't know how long the ambulance was. I heard it's about half an hour, but to be in the ambulance and at the hospital in, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Is a good situation considering we're so far away from an actual hospital out here at Hammett. So.
Yep. And I think credit to the team around you and the relationship you guys have as well, but just the what the team did on straight away was they came to your aid immediately. They called the ambulance, they called supervisors around as well, and then the flock came to you, which is really good.
Yeah.
And we had people out the front of the depot waiting to wave down the ambulance because obviously geographically where you were, we're at a big site, big facility.
They'll never find us.
We,
Bolder motors in the front.
Yeah, we want to wave that ambulance down and help usher through. So that was pretty frightening. What was then the extent of your injuries?
So I fractured my collarbone in about 6 pieces, and I also fractured behind the ear canal of the skull here, which had caused a crack in one of the ear bones, which has allowed blood to seep out of the brain because of brain swellage from hitting the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out, ear was bleeding and stuff, I was like, whoa, pretty serious situation. But, the PA was so good as well. That's where I got taken, and just everyone did their job.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my fiance that night, so could have been a lot, different of situation, but because everyone worked together and things like that, I was back home within a week. I think I was in hospital for.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was good.
And how's your recovery gone?
Yeah, so I think it's been about 8 weeks now. I'm actually back full-time duties now, which is good. Work cover had me at home. Doctors had me at home during the surgery. And, yeah, recovery has been really good. The first couple of weeks was a lot of pain, a lot of painkillers, but no pain now. Full duties, full movement again. So, yeah.
Good.
It's amazing, and it's a credit to your attitude as well in how you've taken to the recovery and how you've taken to return to work.
Yeah.
And, you've been very eager, but you've also listened to the advice of the medical professionals too, and come back at the pace as per their direction. But as I was saying just before this podcast, my sort of observation as my own belief and general statement is I've sort of noticed over the years some of those more serious injuries, I actually see those people trying to get back to work faster for some reason. And some of the injuries that are on the lower side of things, for some reason, those people want to sit at home longer. It's just an overview of what I've noticed for many years. And obviously you fall in that category of the attitude of, I want to get back to work, but doing so in a very appropriate way.
Yeah.
So credit to you, mate. That's really good. And it's going to carry well for your future. Yeah, so pretty frightening. I remember, that was a pretty horrendous phone call to get, hearing that we've had an employee that has fallen from heights and had a head injury.
Even you guys coming to the hospital, like, it meant a lot to me at the time. Like, a lot of companies wouldn't have the CEOs come to the actual hospital and, like, see how I was doing and stuff. So a lot of respect there as well. So.
Well, we were pretty upset about the situation, and seeing you the next day in the state you were surprised me, to be honest. We're all very fortunate, and you're very fortunate in that position, being able to have a conversation the next day with the extent of what the injuries could have been beyond what they were, was remarkable. So we're really, really happy with that.
Thank you.
So I guess, why don't we talk about some of the lessons learnt? And as you said, Brett, we dovetail back to one of our previous podcasts about complacency, that this can happen in every role. You see complacency occur in administrative roles. We've got complacency of driving. We've got complacency of every role. And again,
it's a component in these sorts of incidents, Nath, where people don't, for whatever reason, we did it before. It's been done 55 times right.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep. Because it really takes something to prompt that thought.
Yeah.
Inside everything we do.
Yeah.
It's worked so many times. I've never had an issue type thing.
That's right. You only need once, though. Unfortunately, that's the issue. The point is, we've got to revisit these things we do and make sure they're actually they've got very, very, very low risk of a serious injury.
Yep. One of the gaps that was obviously came to us is that this had been occurring a few times, and we didn't have clear directions inside our SOP per se about what do we do when it gets stuck. And that's a learning lesson for us to recap over, so we can stop, take 5, and really reassess that situation and find a solution.
Come up with a strategy where that doesn't happen, or we don't have it caught or obstructed.
Yeah.
And if it does, then do we pull back and start again, or what do we do?
Yeah, if there are situations that occur that we can come forward and be honest and fought for with what we need done, stuff like that. So,
Yep. It's also prompted me to reflect as well and think, have we got people around, have we got a workforce where people feel like they can also question things?
And challenge what we do, how we do it.
Yep. Yeah. It's one thing saying, yes, talk to us or approach us or whatnot, but it's the next thing of going, well, do people feel like they actually can do that?
Thank you.
And so that's probably
and get a result.
and get a result. Yeah. So that'd be a broadcast I want to share for our organisation, that we do want that. We do want people to feel like they can look to a situation and go, maybe does this feel right, or does this not feel right? And is there another way we can do this? And just challenge that conversation.
But certainly in line with our values.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we've spoken about the risk of doing things and not critically analysing what we're doing all the time. But obviously, height's an issue. Obviously, machinery. We're around a lot of machinery.
Yep.
We've got to be careful to make sure we don't get ourselves trapped or injured by machinery.
Yep.
It's just all those things that we do we cast a critical eye over it and say, how can we get hurt doing this? You know, because we've done it 65 times doesn't mean the 66th time isn't going to be an injury. You know, and that's just the critical eye and I think also the value of the team, because that's 4 or 5 different sets of eyes and 4 or 5 different considerations of how we do stuff, you know, to come up with a either a better solution, a safer solution, one that doesn't involve risk for our staff.
Yep. This certainly brought to light some conversations inside our management team as well, for using your situation and asking our management team to go back to their respective areas as well, and really reassessing all those job functions and going, are there certain job are there certain practices in what we're doing that need to be reassessed and challenged? Just so we don't have
because I mean the fumigation with a tarp is a tricky exercise, you know.
Even the containers being only 3 meters high, like with tie down points and stuff, like the fall risk is still there, even with the safety harness on.
You just can't be up there, man. That's the thing. It's just there's no way to make that a safe exercise. So we've got to come up with other ways where we can get the tarp over without a fouling. You know, in that circumstance, there's lots of other stuff that we do, and even just interplay between people and forklifts, people and trucks. Keeping them apart, having separation zones. Just being very particular about how we do things to ensure that you don't get that interaction that can be when people are not paying attention, are a little bit, thinking about the weekend.
Or could be
complacency. Boom, accident. So we see it all the time. We spoke about it before in a previous podcast. Even with some of those constraints, controls, and other measures in place, complacency can still be your enemy. We've got to guard against complacency at all times.
People might be in a habit consistently all the time
because they've done it 60 something times. It'll be right. No, we've got to do it as if it's the first time.
Most certainly. Anything else you want to highlight there, Matt, for the audience?
No, I think like the biggest thing I wanted from this was to just make sure that if there's someone else out there that might be in the same situation, same company, different company, obviously, that might be wondering if they should be doing this or shouldn't be doing this, and they need to come forward and be honest, take 5 minutes and think about what can occur even though you think it won't happen. At the end of the day, I didn't think I would ever fall off. I've got a safety at height certificate. I've been around heights a lot of time, and I felt comfortable up there. But at the end of the day, not being able to see the edge of the container, I hit an accident and I fell. So
And when we were talking previously, Matt, you're also talking about some other professions that you've identified and some previous experience like landscaping, where you've got different scenarios potentially every day. You go to different properties, you've got different setups, different gardens, and you've observed a lot of practices there where people are climbing at heights.
Different height risks,
Different height risks, and they don't have the adequate resources around to actually restrain themselves and keep themselves safe as well.
Even machinery work, like being around excavators and things like that. I've seen so many accidents happen for just take 5 minutes and take that extra step back to make sure that you're not going to get hit by the machines. And things like that. So
I think it's the individual that needs to have a self-assessment of what they're doing day to day, but it's also the team around in every respective job profile is having your buddies back.
That's right.
You know, are they doing something different today that they were doing yesterday type thing? Have the conditions today changed from what they were yesterday? Thinking of yourself and what you're doing, but also then thinking of your team members around you. And then really what I want to see inside our organisation is that we improve our team culture just in general. Like that's just always a working practice so that teams actually feel comfortable to call each other out when they notice things. And they're doing it in such a way that the person being called out is not feeling disrespected.
No.
You know, because the thing is, like, I know that the team you work amongst, you all get along really well.
Yeah.
So the foundations are really already there.
Strong,
for strong communication. Some other teams aren't like that. So you got to start with the bare bones of them actually just having that respect amongst each other. Where calling out is okay and received well.
Yep.
Okay.
Sweet.
This is another continuation of our complacency podcast. As we said, a bit of a raw sharing, but the whole purpose being we wanted to see if we can provoke the thought inside our organisation, but other people's organisations as well. And in Matt's message here of take 5.
Take 5.
Reassess what you're doing and go forward. Thank you again, Matt.
Thanks,
We're grateful for your time.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Rolling Forward.
We love sharing content for the logistics industry, so please also connect with us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.